Hello everybody and welcome back to Colony Survival. Now this is probably going to be the last video that we do on the castle for a little bit, or at least until the decorations update anyway. But that's because I've basically, between now and the last video, finished up all the little final details and added features and stuff for the castle itself. Now, as you can probably already tell from this nice little angle I found with these blocks, the castle has some nice new little features. These chains that connect up the castle itself to the drawbridge down here, sort of, you know, the old school chains that would be pulled up on a sort of crank up there to raise and lower the drawbridge if they needed to hide inside during a siege, or if they're under attack, or, you know, general reasons to bring a drawbridge up on a castle. These things are in place to make sure they could do that in theory anyway. I do believe these are clay or plaster, I can't remember exactly which one, but I decided whichever one it was looked nicer and decided to use that because there isn't really any metallic blocks yet in the game, so building something out of like iron or something isn't exactly possible currently. But I do think they look quite nice and look effective for what they're supposed to be. I was toying with the idea of possibly having wood sort of wrap around the end of it, but I feel like it's too chunky. There isn't really anything thin yet in the game to sort of just go around it and act as sort of a loop bit for the chain to go into. So currently it just connects on like this, and I still think it looks quite nice as is. There are also little slits at the top where the chain actually goes into the wall, because I felt that looked a little more effective, that it actually goes into the wall even if you can't necessarily see it from all the way down here. You can still make out the holes, barely, but they're there and you can see them. I also rounded out the main gate because, like I mentioned on the previous videos, the pointed thing I had before, which that entrance still does have, sort of clipped into the bottom of the new crenellations, and it didn't really look as effective as it used to, so I simply modified that to be the sort of more rounded style to fit with obviously the new crenellations as mentioned. Now, coming inside, I got rid of the second berry bush farm things from around the sides here, and I've just sort of left this area empty for now, just to see what they do add in terms of decorations. And I do believe there's a mod that adds in other stuff, so I might come back and add in little decorations, almost to sort of showcase that mod as well at a future point. But for now, we just have these berries that sort of line the main entranceway into the keep, which I think looks quite nice and quite effective, and these farmers obviously tending to them every day works quite well, and also the crates matching either side, just, they look quite nice there. They don't look really out of place or anything, in my opinion. Actually, coming inside the main keep, there's not a whole lot that's changing here. This main area, the main hall, is all very much the same as it was before. The only real difference here is these new guards that stood either side of the door, obviously just to keep order in the main hall and protect the king and queen who might be sat at the back. But coming upstairs, not a whole lot's changed up here. This room is exactly the same, par the fact that there are an extra 4 beds in here, and if you've noticed at the top, so those of you that are really keeping an eye on my stats throughout these videos, we have doubled the colonist figures since the end of the last video, which is in part due to this and the castle itself, but also a new sort of bed thing that I have underneath the village, which I intend to change very shortly anyway, so that might take me a while. But yeah, there's double the amount of colonists, which led to me needing more beds and stuff as well. But coming up into the queen and king's sort of quarters, the royal quarters, I suppose would work better as a term, we have this nice fireplace, which I think actually looks quite nice and quite effective, and does actually look like a fireplace. The chandelier, not so much, just looks like a giant black poker stuck through the ceiling, basically. It's not really that effective. These like side cabinet things are sort of placeholders, and I feel like they don't look terrible, and they sort of add a little almost ledge thing to the windows as well. But obviously these are supposed to be like side cabinet-y things where you could sit down and as the queen could do her hair or whatever, that sort of thing. These are supposed to be like dressers and stuff. It's all sort of placeholder in here because there isn't really much in the way of decoration stuff yet, which is what they're adding in the next update, I do believe. But coming upstairs into the like attic area, this hasn't really changed. This is basically exactly the same as it was in the last video when I built it. The only thing that I might add up here is just more of those crates, because this area really should probably be used for storage, if anything. Other than that, it's sort of a viewing port to the rest of the colony, but also as a defense system at the top of these towers, which currently don't have guards manning them because functionally guards wouldn't be able to shoot from up there onto anything really, so they've just left those kind of empty up there. But for the most part, they're sort of fleshed out now. The sort of servant quarters area is very much just beds, which would make sense. And then going back down, the main hall is basically as we left it last time. But there is one big change, which is down here. This is the basement, or the crafting area, the kitchen. This is where all the servants work within the castle, supplying food, cooking metals apparently, and chopping up wood and everything else that they do down here. This is mainly the castle's kitchen, which is what has all the ovens and grindstones and everything, and then has all this sort of storage stuff around the area to have like salted fish and bread and vegetables and everything else that they have in storage, and then this sort of main area of sort of counters to work on, to chop up food and prepare things for the royalty and the guards and everything else. But coming through here, as you saw where all the guys left from, this is the underground farm for the castle. Now, realistically, obviously an underground farm doesn't work without artificial lights and things like that, which in medieval times they didn't have. So realistically this doesn't work, but within the context of the game it does, and so would allow the castle to self-sustain itself during a siege, having its own food supply, which is probably in the most defended part of the castle, considering it's the lowest level. I think this actually goes below the lake. I'm not going to break one of the walls to find out because I don't want to flood the place, but it's the deepest point, and it's probably the most defended considering that fact, and so the food supply, don't think anyone's going to be tampering with that anytime soon. So the castle is basically completely self-sustainable during the night as well. Well, not just during the night, but during a siege, which is the main point of having an underground farm. I feel it's the main reason that castles have stores and stuff as well. Coming back outside, it is night time, so it's a bit difficult to show you, but obviously I can fast forward time because of editing. So I'll be with you in just a moment to show you the final little feature that the castle now has. And we're back, and now I can finally show you the last feature of the castle. As you can probably tell, we use about 600 arrows a night as well, just in case you want to know stats and stuff. But the final feature of the castle is something that most castles have, and that's a moat. And obviously the front half of the castle primarily was built in this lake originally, which gives it that defense already, but the back half of the castle, because it was so big, went up onto the land, and so I basically had to dig out this entire trench that goes all the way around the castle, links up to the other side of the lake, which started about here-ish, and sort of curved around that way and touched the wall. Basically it was sand and then mostly grass. But I dug it all out and just went straight around with just a thick sort of trench, which was quite cubic, but I decided to go back and sort of try and angle it out and make it more rounded, so it seems more like the sort of edge of a lake, even if it has been sort of messed with and sort of dug out, as the sort of impression of leaving dirt here is given, I feel. But it does still add sort of a nice angularness to it, rather than it being just, you know, flat walls that go all the way around next to a giant flat castle that goes all the way around. So yeah, I feel like adding this sort of angular structure to the trench has improved the castle design very slightly, even if it is on the side of the castle that obviously there isn't much out here yet. It's all just empty fields and trees. I might add more stuff around eventually, but I'm currently building in like that direction with the rest of the colony. So thank you guys for watching this castle build series. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have got some ideas from it. If you guys have any ideas or suggestions for me to add more stuff to it, then feel free to let me know, and I'll consider doing them, might do them. It depends on, obviously, if I have the room to do them, and then it's a matter of whether you can actually do it and it not look really dumb with the really sort of, with just blocks, because it does add quite a big limitation currently. And I'm hoping when this sort of decoration update comes out, we can have a lot more freedom in building fronts, but we shall see. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope to see you guys in another video very soon.